Hi everyone, my name's Beth Howard. I'm the director of Younger Lagoon Reserve, and welcome to my home office. I'm so excited that you've chosen to participate in our virtual restoration internship this quarter and to keep learning during these unprecedented times. I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself and my role at the Reserve. So I grew up in Northwest Florida and here in California in the East Bay. I spent a lot of time outside growing up. I was always that kid that my mom was calling in after dark to stop catching frogs and naming turtles. And I think that the time I spent outside growing up really helped instill a love of the natural world in me and helped lead me to the career path that I'm on today. In high school, I was really interested in organic farming and organic gardening, and I thought that when I grew up, I might want to have my own restaurant with farm attached. I chose to do my undergraduate degree here at UC Santa Cruz, and I came to UC Santa Cruz really interested in the agroecology program. I came in as an environmental studies major, and after my first year, I added a second major in biology. I had a work study job at the farm while I was an undergrad. I spent time working on organic farms through the WOOFR program here in California and in Vermont as an undergrad. I went to UC Davis and learned how to drive big tractors and implements and was really diving into that agroecology path. And at the same time, through the biology department, I was starting to get more and more exposed to natural history, ecology, and really to conservation. And over time, my interest in natural history, ecology, and conservation really grew, and I chose that that would be where I would focus my career. I still love farming, I still love gardening, I still have, you can see I have plants in my room, I have a nice garden in the backyard. And there's a part of me that still really feels like, oh, maybe that would have been such a wonderful career. And I think sort of jumping ahead, but restoration work, one of the things I love about it is it really marries those skills of farming and gardening, but also of ecology, conservation, and natural history. So after I graduated from UC Santa Cruz, I went to work doing a variety of different field tech jobs, field biology jobs. These jobs are kind of a rite of passage in our field. They're often seasonal jobs. They're often, really inclement conditions, hot, cold, carrying your gear for long distances, searching out different animals or plants, learning different kinds of field techniques. They're a great way to get a bunch of hands-on skills and make connections. After I did those jobs for about 5 years or so, mostly in California, I had the opportunity to come back to UC Santa Cruz, this time as a staff member working for Greg Gilbert and Ingrid Parker. Greg Gilbert is currently the chair of the Environmental Studies Department, and he's a plant pathologist. He studies plant diseases. And Ingrid Parker is currently the chair of the Ecology and Evolutionary Biology Department, and she studies plant ecology. At that time, the Forest Ecology Research Plot, the FERP, was just in its inception. It was being installed, and so I was part of the team that installed the original FERP in Upper Campus. Some of you may have worked on the FERP as an intern, or maybe you'll work there in the future. It's a great way to learn about a very unique part of our campus. At the end of 2006, an opportunity came up for a job working with the UCSC Natural Reserves in a land steward position. Land steward is really the boots on the ground person that is really the caretaker of the reserve. When I was an undergrad, the land steward was someone that I really looked up to. We got to spend some time with that person in some of my classes, and I always thought, wow, what an incredible job. So I applied for the job working as a land steward here with our UCSC Natural Reserves and was thrilled to be offered and accept the position. When I came on in 2006, I was working both for our Campus Natural Reserve and for Younger Lagoon Reserve. At that time, we had enough budget for one person working 10 hours a week at Younger Lagoon Reserve. So that was me, and then we relied on this fleet of undergraduate interns, all of whom were unpaid at that time, as well as community volunteers. We just ran everything on a shoestring budget. Over time, I've been able to grow our program to the point where we now have between 3 and 4 staff members working at any time, a number of paid undergraduate students, and that's something I feel really strongly about, is trying to offer opportunities for undergraduates to get paid doing this work. I recognize that not everyone has the ability to do an unpaid internship, and certainly not the ability to do it for long periods of time or in place of other paid work. And then we have internship programs like the one that you're working with this quarter, as well as a really robust community volunteer program. Here at the Reserve, my work these days has really changed over time. So I started as a steward, then I went to be a field manager, and now I'm the director of the Reserve. And my work these days is really trying to focus on the bigger picture of what the Reserve is doing and making sure that we're in compliance with all of our different regulators. So I'm responsible for facilitating research, teaching, and public education on the Reserve. I'm responsible for coordinating our biological and environmental monitoring programs, our compliance and annual reporting programs, and I also administer our native habitat restoration program. Like I said, the native habitat restoration is really near and dear to my heart because it's all the skills of farming and gardening, but in the wildlands. I'll be making some appearances at your Friday discussion sections. I'm up for the first week, and I look forward to talking with you more about my work then. Oh, I should say, in addition to my work as the director of the Reserve, I wear another UCSC hat, which is about 4 years ago, I decided to go back to school and pursue a PhD in ecology and evolutionary biology, really focusing on restoration work on the California coast. So I'm in Don Kroll's lab. If any of you know Don Kroll, he's a professor in EE biology. We're the Conservation Action Lab. So that's one of my hats that I wear when I'm not working at the reserves. I'm working on a PhD as well. I'm a slug for life and a lifelong learner. I have a little nephew who's 4 years old who's started going to school, and he always asks, why does today have to be a school day? And I always tell him, even your aunt still has school days. But like I said, I'll be popping in on your Friday meetings now and again. I'll be here this week, the first week, and I'll be talking a little bit more about my work at the Reserve and my work on my PhD. And I'm available anytime. If you have questions, feel free to be in touch. I look forward to getting to know all of you, and thanks again for participating in our virtual restoration internship. Have a great day. Bye.